And it's been another week. Last week I said we'd be talking more about original voices because I didn't give people a fair shake a couple updates ago with the cyclical evolution update. I kept saying that there wasn't anything new. That is not entirely true. There are original voices out there, and I'm talking about screenwriters and directors. What I was talking about a couple weeks ago was just like in the spotlight, the main stage. It feels like everything is kind of rehashed and retread, but there's original stuff going on all the time. Obviously, we have like the Wes Andersons and the Edgar Wrights, Christopher Nolan, you know, all the guys who still get to make original movies by keeping their, well, Nolan keeps his budgets huge actually, but the other guys kind of keep their budgets down, keep them small, and they get to tell the stories that they want to tell with their very particular visions. And like Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg especially, those guys are amazing. Their screenplays sound like a Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg screenplay. They're very quick, they're very quippy. The cleverness is like layers and layers deep, and then the visual style of Edgar Wright is all over the place. It is wall to wall, a very singular perspective, and it's amazing. You guys probably expected me to bring up some like new young upstarts. Those guys have been around for 10 years, you know, at least 10 years. I subscribe to certain like, I get it's like a screenwriter newsletter. Every once in a while a topic will come up. Somebody in the community will bring up like a topic and then a bunch of people will discuss it. And I saw somebody say, where's all the original screenplays? You know, and that just made me so mad because they're everywhere. On shelves, okay? Everybody has original ideas, and lots of people are developing their original ideas into really well-written screenplays that are well thought out, and then they deliver those to people in power, producers, studio heads, things like that, and they are used as writing samples. Those aren't going to go into production, because all studios now want is proven IP.
Intellectual property.
So that they can defend their jobs. It used to be that producers would take a chance on somebody that seemed like they knew what was happening in the zeitgeist, the current zeitgeist. You know, it'd be like, oh, this person is of the generation that is going to the movies, and they have something that they want to say about now. Now, you take those original voices and you plug them in to tell a story that is already proven, that we all remember so that it can be brought around. Like, let's take Brian Fuller, for example, okay? Brian Fuller is one of the most original voices in screenwriting, in my opinion, and he has worked mostly in television. He created the series Dead Like Me, Wonderfalls, Pushing Daisies. Eliza loves Pushing Daisies. I do too, but she's like a huge Pushing Daisies fan. He also wrote on season 1 of Heroes, but now you take one of the most original voices out there. He's very successful right now as the creator / writer, main writer on Hannibal. That is a property that's been around forever. Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal. This is now a really awesome, innovative TV show. Innovative, I mean, it's a cool way of telling the story again because you got Brian Fuller doing it, but again, it's an IP that people recognize. Started as a book, turned into a successful movie franchise, now it's a TV franchise, and that's what he gets to work on. He probably has so many original ideas, but what they want, an original voice working on something that people already recognize. So that is where the original voices are. A lot of the really unique voices and a lot of the really interesting chances that are being taken are happening in television. AMC is doing that with like their Breaking Bad. Walking Dead, of course, started as a comic book. Again, the Hannibal stuff started in books. One of the bigger independent movies this year, Independent, Fault in Our Stars, based on a gajillion best-selling novel. I bet you guys know about that book. It's one of those conversations that keeps coming up like, you know, the internet is changing everything and like, is print in trouble? No. Print is not in trouble because where else is Hollywood going to get their stories? Where is they're going to find their IP? We're not going to have any more movies if print goes away because people writing books, comic books, television, those are the people who get to write news stories now. But there are really unique voices still, like True Detective. That dude, what's his name? Nick something. He is awesome. There are tons of original voices out there. They're just not getting to tell original stories. And original movies are still getting made, but you just can't, it's hard to find. Like Timer was a really unique original movie that we found on Netflix starring Emma Caulfield from Buffy. That was really well written. but it's buried under everything else. Blue Rune is a really unique take, like I mentioned earlier, on the Vengeance genre. I loved that. That felt very fresh, very unique. Oh, and this week in Pops, I've done more editing on the episode. Everything is looking really nice. We're getting ready to have a casting call next weekend for a bunch of kids, and then we also are having our big donor, Harris, coming into town to shoot his scene in episode 9, which he donated to do, and it's very exciting. Finally going to get him coming over to shoot, and so we've got that lined up. We got those locations lined up, and I want to address one more thing this week, which is in the comments. Most people have been liking the new look, the vest and tie idea, which I've been implementing in my real life like every day since the start of the new year. Last week, though, Anna, Scattered Moonshards on YouTube, who came out to one of our meet and greets in England. In London, yeah. She mentioned that she missed the Jurassic Park Jake. If she had her way, no one would ever grow up. This look is not about being a grown-up. It is actually just about looking like I care. Because for such a long time, obviously, we all care how we look, how we appear. Even if we say we don't, that is a choice in how we appear. And I'm from the 90s, man. I'm from the grunge scene, alright? So, like, I'm supposed to be way baggy, everything. But I've lost 15 pounds and I started dressing like I care. And it's made a huge difference in how people perceive me outside of this place. I have to explain it to everybody who knew me before. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just thought I'd look nice, you know? I am putting forth an effort. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to put forth an effort because I do care how I look. And I wanted not to grow up, but to just... It was time for a change. And you know what? Underneath this, underneath the tie clip, underneath the tie, it's still there. Jurassic Park Jake is always right here. I wear these shirts underneath the vest and tie like every day, you know, because they're comfortable. It's not about growing up. I'm obviously a grown-up. I pay bills. I pay my friends to hang out with me. I mean, make a web series with me. And anyway, thank you guys for coming by this week. That's the Pops logo. I got a lot of work to do on Pops, so I'm going to go do that. Liza and I got to go shopping for some clothes for the scenes that are coming up for this next week. Go to the thrift store. I will see you next week, when we might get to talk to Harris a little bit. That would be good. Take it easy.